What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Weekly Report here on TWWRN. I'm your host, the Tin Man, here with my co-host, Lucid. Lucid, you, I guess we could say, are now an official part of TWWRN, my friend.
Well, thank you for having me. I've been kind of wanting to get into this for a while now.
Basically, what we got going here is going to be off the cuff. Me and Lucid, good buddies. So we decided we're going to give this a little test run, kind of be like our own little radio show. It's going to run on for about half hour, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. And
it's going to run until it runs, and if it doesn't run anymore, then, that's fine.
And basically what you can expect from this show is off the cuff, real reporting, touch base on the real issues, relevant
or irrelevant. Who cares? It's just going to be whatever's trendy. Or whatever's not trendy. Who cares?
Yeah. And it's not going to be a fucking fashion show, mainstream bullshit. You're going to get
even though we are dressed up.
I'm a sexy bitch. What can I say?
Well, you got one part right.
Fuck you. Like Tourette's guy. Fuck you, Head and Shoulders. This is what you can expect from us. Real news by real people. And right off the bat, let's get into some of the shit that's going on here. My God, I am not even eco-friendly. Fuck. But our first order of business. Operation Wagner. That some bitch shit has been fucking a real thorn in the side here at TWDBRN. Kind of put us on a bit of a hiatus for a little bit there. Not because of the operation itself, but just due to my personal involvement in the matter. It had to do with my personal life and where I used to live up in San Jacinto. And as of such, being that it regards my sister and her drug addict boyfriend, granted, you can figure shit has hit the fan as far as fucking phone calls and whatnot, and just overall bullshit.
As far as I'm concerned in all this, I've already stated my position with his sister and her man, and I'm just going to say it out loud. It's none of my fucking business. It's not my business to say anything about it. It's not my business to put it out there. I'm there for you as a friend if you need me. But that's about as far as that's going to be going as far as my opinion is concerned. I do have an official opinion about it, which I'm not going to, put it on blast here on the internet. That's between me, Sarah, and her man. That's my standpoint on the whole issue. I personally think that it's nobody's business but theirs if that's what they want to do, whatever their life is about.
Well, as far as their own decisions go, as far as their use of drugs and whatnot, that is their own call, that is their life. But the Operation Wagner was not focused on the drugs. It was focused on his professed murder of a fellow naval officer when he served in the military, and also his professed rape and attempted murder of his baby mama Tish.
Well, once again, that is none of my business. I don't know the story. I wasn't there when it was told, if it was even told. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying I wasn't there. As far as that goes, he's a big boy, and he can take care of himself, and he can face the consequences for his actions if there is consequences to be faced. As far as Sarah is concerned, same thing. They're both grown-ass adults, and they're entitled to their own opinions and decisions of their life, and they got to live with those decisions and consequences as a result thereof.
Exactly, and I that brings up a good point here. You've heard Sarah trying to fucking blame me for this shit. That wasn't my fucking deal. I was contacted by an anonymous who said, "Hey, do you know a Thomas Wagner?" "Yeah." "Why?" "Well, he's talking shit on you and Anonymous on his Facebook wall." And at the time, I had Thomas blocked, so I couldn't even see this shit. So I have to unblock Tom, go check this out, and I reply to his fucking comments. Well, being that he had talked shit on Anonymous, Anonymous decided to look into this whole thing. They went through my emails, saw my conversations with Sarah where we had discussed this shit when I was fucking calling her out for all the stupid shit Tom does. And Anonymous comes back to me and says, okay, we just went through your email. We know what the hell's going on. What are you going to do? I'm like, well, I don't know yet. I've got to go down and get the rest of my stuff out of the shed. Because as you know, I had important papers in their shed. And my diploma and everything. So.
And not just that, I did read the emails that were sent to you from Smith, whatever, Daniel Smith or some shit. What was his name?
Adam something.
Adam, I think. Yeah, Adam Smith. So, I mean, whether that's a real name or a pseudonym, I did read the emails as they were coming in. So, they are legitimate emails, and Anonymous did get in contact with you. As far as, you know, your sister and her man are concerned, whether they want to believe that or not, that, like I said, it's all up to them. That's their decision.
Yeah.
But
the point I'm trying to get at here is, you know, they want to try to blame me for their fault in this. Or what happened. Okay? One, that didn't have anything to do with me. Okay? Sarah, Tom, you guys fucking put that shit out there. You got the attention of Anonymous. Now deal with it. Okay? They decided to take action, not me. And as far as that goes, you know, it goes back to what you were saying. It's not, what's happening is not a result of somebody fucking blowing the whistle on. It's a result of their actions. I mean, when Tom got arrested, Sarah was bitching that he would. Sarah was bitching that they thought one of their neighbors had called the cops. Well, what's it fucking matter if somebody fucking called the cops? If he wasn't doing anything illegal in the first place, it wouldn't have fucking mattered. He wouldn't have gone to jail. He didn't go to jail because somebody called the cops on him. He went to jail because he had fucking meth in the house.
Which kind of brings us to the point of the Ferguson shooting, too. It's kind of a similar thing. You know, that kid who was 16 or 17 years old, whatever age he was, you know, didn't get shot as a result of just walking down the street being a fucking 16-year-old. No, he was doing something illegal. And the cops saw him doing it, and he was resisting or something. And, you know, that's a story for a few minutes from now.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into that in a minute, you know, because you just brought up some questions that I want to ask you on the matter. But in conclusion to the Op Wagner, you know, they have posted 2 videos. The other video went up the other day, and I don't know if you've seen that yet, but they're calling for an occupy of the mobile home park in which Tom and Sarah live, and also a bombardment with contacting via phone and email of the local police department, the district attorney's office, and the PR department of the United States Navy in demanding an investigation into these matters.
Is that anonymous?
That was anonymous, dude.
Yes, yeah, I didn't know even anything about that. So.
Yeah, it was called Op Wagner Update, I believe. And they called for that, and they also called for online action as well. You know how Anonymous rolls. They freaking take every avenue possible.
Well, like I said, dude, as far as this whole subject goes, dude, I really don't have anything to say on the subject. I don't know anything more than what I've been let in to know, and that was just word of mouth from you. Well, your side of the story of things, Sarah's, and, you know, her man's side of the story of things, and, you know, as far as that goes, that's as far as I know, and that's just what you guys have told me, and I personally don't care enough to really fucking investigate. It's not affecting me one way or the other. So.
And you don't want to be a part of it, which is exactly where I'm at in this. You know, Sarah wants to blame me for bringing this fucking fire down on her. You know, I don't need to bring down the fire for one. You know, she's more capable of shooting herself in the foot.
Cheers.
Shot. She's more capable of bringing the fire down on herself. And plus, you know, at this point, with all the fucking drama and all the other bullshit, I don't want no part of her fucking life. And for me to even fucking begin to fucking usher in an operation like this keeps me in her fucking life. And I don't want to be a part of her life. She is just, it's been too much drama, too much heartache, and I just need to wash my fucking hands of it. That's what I said on my birthday, with that Facebook post that I converted into a video. I'm done. I want no part of it. I support Op Wagner because, justice deserves to be served in retrospect.
And not just that, your personal experience at the place and, your personal standpoint and opinions of what's going on, too.
Yeah.
It's not just because you support justice and whatnot. It's because you do, and you have to admit this, that you do kind of have a grudge against that whole situation and that whole household over there because of what they did to you and what you did to them as a result, and all the video evidence and all this shit about
him choking me out on video and everything else. Right. I was gonna freaking take action in my own time, in my own way. I was hoping to freaking do things a better way, but Anonymous took it out of my hands. And at this point, I just want to walk away from it. I'm a firm believer in karma. I don't need to take the actions of karma into my own hands. Karma is more than capable of doing her job, and I don't need any backlash from it, And Tom, he's more than capable of fucking his own life up. I mean, shit. Not a week after I move out of there, the fucking cops show up to his fucking house and arrest his ass for having to open his house. The guy's walking around with a fucking bullseye on his back, knowing that there's a fucking bullseye on his back. And he's a product of his own destruction. He's a willful participant in his own destruction.
As we all are.
Yeah.
We all are.
Well, in certain respects, but, in situations such as this, we're all a product of our own devices, but, when you're doing illegal, stupid shit, it's like the saying goes, the bigger you are, the harder you fall, and I guess that could qualify for, the more severe the situation, the harder you fall as well, but I digress, and frankly, I just want to be as far away from it and the drama and my sister and her bullshit as humanly possible, because it's just been far too much heartache, and that's why I posted that video. And then, oh my god, my next topic, it's beautiful. On that video that I posted in regards to Op Wagner, guess who fucking contacts me?
Who's that?
A fucking profile owned by our good friend Danny Boy, YRV. And he's trying to cover his ass pretending that he's somebody else. I forget what the fucking name was. Oh, Total Recall. The profile name was Total Recall. Fucking movie mark much?
Right.
Professing to be anonymous, claiming that I'm a pedophile with child pornography on my computer. I don't even have regular fucking porn on my computer, and this guy's accusing me of child porn, and I'm like, okay, fucking prove it. And it was kind of a new angle, so I was thinking, okay, I don't think this is Dan. But then I looked into the channel. Lo and behold, he's commenting on the HGC Gamer Club, which is Daniel's fucking Xbox thing. And then he starts fucking talking like Daniel and fucking trying to cover his ass and even marking out for himself. The guy's got to fucking tell. So, it's obvious who the fuck it is. So I sent him your video and I sent him the invitation to take part in the Operation Mindfuck Tinman.
Almost as a peace offering, like pick apart your shit.
Not even a peace offering. It's just if you've got something to fucking say, just come out and fucking say it. Don't bullshit. Because I told him, I'm like,
don't make up shit. Don't beat around the bush. We're all fucking adults here. Fucking just say what you're gonna say.
Well, I'm not sure that mentally he is an adult. Just given the way he acts. I'm not going to say he has Asperger's disease or anything like that, like he has insinuated me. But looking at the guy and the way he fucking acts, when Anonymous rejected his idea, instead of just walking away and saying, you know what, okay, you guys rejected it, fine, I'm moving on. He threw a fucking temper tantrum like a goddamn 5-year-old. And I don't mean to diss on the guy. In fact, I actually feel really bad for him. He had an idea, it was well thought out, but
just too many.
It had too many flaws, and just people didn't like it. And
nobody's in charge, but if you have an idea, bring it to me because I gotta approve it first. Well, that makes you in charge. You know what I mean?
You know, and then he goes into this whole elaborate scheme, creating this new anonymous thing, which didn't pan out for him, because all they were sock accounts, and now he's making sock accounts to promote his gamer shit and try to attack me and whatnot. And it's just really sad. I do feel bad for the guy, and I do wish him well, and I hope things work out for him and whatever he's trying to fucking do. But there's a right and a wrong way of going about things, and all I've seen from the guy is he's gone about things the wrong way. And there's a question you asked me before we went on the air, when I was a few days ago when you and I talked about this. You had asked me why he fucking seems to target me so much. You know, he targets Anonymous and a lot of Anons a lot, but I have noticed, as well as you, that he does seem to have a fetish for me. That he does seem to...
It's always Tinman this, TWWRN that.
Yeah, he fucking, he seems to focus on me, and I'm not the only host on here. We got you, we've got Connor, we've got Conspiracy and all.
And he hasn't really said anything to any of them.
Yeah, he really hasn't talked about them too much. I mean, he and Conspiracy and all got into it a few times, as well as him and Grandmaster Ruben. But I seem to have been a major focus and a major hot button for this guy, and what I honestly think is what it comes back down to with Daniel and me is I freaking exposed him. I completely shattered his image, his delusion that he was portraying to everybody. I completely shattered that ruse. And it pisses him off. I mean, he is the equivalent of the Bible-bashing Christian hating on homosexuals, and I walked into his house in the middle, and I stuck my dick in his mouth and took a picture. Just kidding. Not literally, but figuratively speaking. I more or less fucking bitch slapped this guy, and as of such, Anonymous didn't have to do anything because I completely fucking decimated his ass, and he's pissed off. I think that's what it really comes down to. He's butthurt because I own his ass. So, and he couldn't fucking own me for the RTB thing or the quote terrorist thing. So now he's trying to say I'm a fucking...
By the way, one more time, just to make it clear, RTB is not Resistance Tactical Bomb. RTB means return to base, you stupid motherfucker.
And he didn't even know what that was about, man.
And he was supposedly in the military?
Yeah.
I think that's bullshit, too.
Dude, I was in fucking ROTC. I never even made it to the fucking military because life circumstances went a totally different direction. But, even just in ROTC, you fucking learn that shit. It's fucking ridiculous. And the RTB thing, who I was fucking talking to, I'll just go right out and say it. At that point in time, I had some business deals going. We were still putting together TWRN, trying to get everything going. And there were some people, some outside investors, that were some friends of mine that I talked to for a while, who were supposed to contribute financially to build this thing into what we wanted it to be. We wanted to have the radio show and to do all the things that we were initially going to fucking do. Well, in order to do that, it fucking takes money. And these people were supposed to act as financial backers, and then, I started pulling the weight on my end, and then they just kind of dropped off of the face of the earth. So I fucking called them out. I go, hey, what the fuck? RTB, return to base, get in contact with me. Fucking, I'm pulling my weight, but I can't fucking go any further. I've gone as far as I can go with trying to build this thing. And it's not a resistance tactical bomb. I'm talking about building the Worldwide Resistance Network.
I think you should put the link of the video in the description here because...
Yeah, I'll put the link in the description.
That way people understand really firsthand what exactly was discussed.
I go way back with these people, and you know me. I'm a get it done kind of guy. I fucking go nuts and I clean your fucking house on a daily basis. You don't fucking tell me to do it, I just fucking do it. Why? Because it needs to get done. That's just the kind of person I am. I'm a get it done kind of guy. If I see it needs to get done, I fucking do it. And have a tendency to hold people to the same standards. If you commit yourself to something and say you're going to fucking do something, especially to the point where I'm fucking dependent on you pulling your weight, I expect you to get your shit done. And, you know, if I'm pulling my weight to build this fucking media thing, and you guys drop the ball and then just drop off the face of the earth and leave me hanging, I'm going to be fucking pissed. And that's what it came down to. But then again, I get pissed off for most every topic. You notice that? I notice I piss a lot of people off because I just go on these fucking tangents. Which, another thing that gets me on a fucking tangent. Back to what you were saying earlier about the Ferguson issue. You said that he was doing stuff that he wasn't supposed to do. What initial reports have you seen that suggested that he did something illegal? And if he did do something illegal, what was it? Because I have not seen that. I legit want to know.
I haven't seen it either. But we entrust the police to be our enforcement of the law. Okay? Now, I'm not saying there's not corrupt cops, and I'm not saying that there's not, you know, people who are going to take things a little too far when you piss them off and whatever. But the thing of it is that if you're going to trust our police officers to make our streets safe, then trust the police officers to make it safe. You know, we have a sheriff in office for a reason. You got a problem with the police force, fucking take it up with him. Our police officers and our sheriffs, you know, are, you know, basically there for our protection. I mean, regardless of how you may feel about them or whatever. See, I come from a military household and a trusting household. You know, I was a police explorer for like 8 years, you know, and I was in, you know, ROTC, Cadet Corps, the military, you know, and so I trust my law-protecting officials, and I trust their opinions and I trust their judgment. So, in retrospect to that, my personal opinion is that these cops would not have opened fire on this 16-year-old or this 17-year-old, we'll just say teenager, or young adult at this point. You know, wouldn't have opened fire on this kid if he wasn't doing something wrong. Like he must have had some kind of weapon, or he must have had an explosive device, or been, you know, resisting arrest, or, you know, assaulting another officer or something. Something drastic must have happened for them to open fire on him. They're not just going to pull out their guns and start shooting people for no reason. I mean, you just don't see that. It has something to do, you know, and like I said, there is, you know, corrupt cops and, you know, people who take things too far. You know, I saw a video on YouTube, and you could probably search it right now. A fucking teenager goes up to a cop and flips him off, fuck you, right in his face, like that, and the cop whoops his ass. You know what? That's taking it too far. You know, and I get that. Yeah. But the cop didn't whip out his gun and start shooting him for no fucking reason. You know what I mean? Maybe he felt threatened by the kid. You know what I mean? In which he felt like he needed to defend himself. In which case, that's an arguable point to that video. You know, the kid was making a joke, go flip the peace officer off, you know, he can't do nothing. Fucking goes out, flips him off, and maybe the cop felt threatened, like he was going to get hurt or something, and in which case his training came into play immediately. Officer safety, put this fucking fool on his fucking face, and, you know, hook him up, see what the fuck happened. Why was he doing that? You know, in which case he could say, oh, okay, I'm sorry, and let him loose. No harm, no foul on either side. The kid did get in his face, which could be considered assault, not battery, assault, because the way he was flailing his hands around, flipping the person off, or, you know, flipping the officer off, he could have been misconstruing it as a fist. You know what I'm saying? He could have been like, I'm going to fight you.
You know, you take him down, hook him and book him.
Yeah.
And at which point that doesn't require the cap the kid. I've seen this meme many times, and I'm sure many of our subscribers have seen this as well, where a cop in Germany had a guy with a machete coming at him. The cop in Germany fucking shot him in the leg, hooked him and booked him. Whereas in the United States, you come at a cop with a knife or even just your bare fist, as you suggested, you get turned into Swiss cheese, and it's like, I do think that it's taking it a little too far. I understand officer safety. I respect that. You gotta look out for numero uno at the end of the day. How can you do your shit?
But at the same time, listen to this. At the same time, there is a video that is on the internet right now on YouTube. I don't know what the description is, but it's like Vietnam veteran shoots and kills police officer. It is a terrible, terrible thing to see, and it's just really hard to explain. This Vietnam vet has a rifle in his truck, and the police officer gives him all the chance in the world, all the chance in the world, all the chance in the world, and because he gave him all the chance in the world, that police officer ended up dying for it. Now, do you think the crazy fucking Vietnam veteran deserves to live in jail, in prison for the rest of his life? Or do you think that police officer, who was new to the force, by the way, he was starting his first week, I think it was like his first day or second day on his own, which they don't even say that in the description. I was told this by an officer who knew the guy when I was doing my training at SOTA, Security Officers Training Academy. The officer knew about this story, and I guess it was broadcasted on national television. Of course, they didn't show that the cop died or whatever, but they did, a news report on it. Now, officer safety or not, what do you think is more important, the officer living or the crazy fucking Vietnam vet living? It's the same fucking token of that kid waving his fists around, whether he's flipping them off or waving his fists around in the police officer's face. Maybe the police officer thought he was getting stupid, and he had to fucking take him down. Now, he didn't shoot him, but, he took him down hard. Same thing with this Ferguson fucking issue. Well, you know what I mean? It could have been something like that. It could have been a verbal fucking thing. It could have been a physical thing. It could have been a threat of physical.
Well,
you know what I mean?
That does raise a question, because the notes I have here in regards to the articles that were read was the police left his body for hours in the hot sun. They militarized the area, allegedly speculated to make up a story to justify their actions. That's not general police protocol.
That's speculation too. They still have to investigate the officer in the crime scene, which is why they left the body there. Crime scene investigators had to get there. The detectives had to get there. They had to interview everybody. They take pictures of the body, the evidence, all that stuff.
Yeah,
they didn't just leave his body there for no fucking reason. That's just lying.
That's not what happened, though. What it actually happened was, and you and I have watched the same videos on this, they not only quarantined the area, but fucking militarized the area. When is that ever necessary to freaking militarize the area to go fucking martial law on an entire fucking area to usher in a fucking curfew?
Okay,
and all this shit based off of a...
It's because of the rioting and looting and all that shit that came as a result after that. They knew that shit was going to happen because he was a kid, and the family was getting irate and up in arms about it.
Okay, well, there's granted more to the story and both sides on this.
I'm not defending the kid, and I'm not defending the police. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to open your eyes, Tin Man, as a result of, just because you watched an anonymous video doesn't make everything they say true. Doesn't make everything they say the only side of the story either.
Here's my standpoint here. And you know this from me. You've known me for 15 fucking years. My standpoint has always been there's good and bad in everything. There are good and bad cops. Maybe this cop was in fact in the wrong. Maybe he did take things too far. Maybe he didn't. And, the facts will come out after the initial investigations are completed. As far as Anonymous' involvement in this, I understand. If the officer was in the wrong, I don't have all the facts, as neither do you. But if the officer was in fact in the wrong, he deserves to be brought to justice.
Absolutely.
And if the officer was in the wrong, and with all these police-related shootings, there does need to be legislation, as per the proposal of Anonymous, that puts stricter limitations and accountability on the officers to keep shit like this from happening. Because if there are cops out there, both good and bad, the bad, just like the civilians, need to be held accountable.
But at the same token, too, you put too much limitations on a peace officer's power and authority, then you're not going to have any power and authority within that police officer. or peace officer rather. And this is talking about security guards. This is talking about police. This is talking about sheriff. This is talking about military. I'm talking every aspect. You can't take the one authority that they have to make that judgment call, dude. It's called being human. People make mistakes. They do, and I will admit that. But at the same time, too, we trust these people, and we put these people in power to protect us and to keep us safe, and we need to trust that, regardless of whether they're right or wrong.
Yeah,
you know, it could be a mistake.
Don't you agree that there needs to be provisions in place
there
for
is.
those who are corrupt officers? You know, like
there is.
like the captain.
If there's evidence brought to light that there is a corrupt officer, or that officer did shoot that kid on purpose, then that will be dealt with as a result of whatever evidence is gathered. If there is evidence that that kid was causing a physical altercation with a police officer, or had a gun for some reason, or whatever the case may be, then that kid deserved what he got. You know, you don't wave a gun at a police officer and live to tell about it. You just don't. Just the same thing as military. You know, you go into a military facility with a gun and you start waving it around, expect to get dead.
Okay, well, you got to keep in mind too that the military and the police are two different things.
It's the same concept, though. They both have guns. They're both under authority, and they both are allowed to shoot and kill in defense of our freedoms, regardless of how you look at it. That is their main purpose.
And I disagree with you on that to a point. Yeah, like I said, look out for your life, but if you can avoid killing somebody, why not? Like the officer in Germany. The guy had a fucking machete and was fucking coming after the cop with it. The cop shot him in the leg. You know, you don't need to turn a person into Swiss cheese in order to maintain your authority.
Yeah, but
you can maintain your authority and take somebody into custody, even if you do have to discharge your firearms and fucking shoot somebody in the fucking kneecap and take them to the ground, even if they have a gun. You know, if you can avoid taking a life, you should take them. You should avoid taking a life.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. But maybe that officer that shot this boy, or maybe the officer that beat down that kid, or, whatever. Maybe the officer in Germany didn't feel as threatened as these other officers. Maybe these other officers felt like their life was at stake and they needed to take this guy down.
Yeah, I'm just pointing out
it's all human reaction and, judgment calls that we're taking into accountability here.
Well, regardless of whether you're military, civilian, or police, I think people should exercise humanity, the best qualities of themselves.
When it comes down to the wire, though, if there's somebody coming after you with a fucking machete, are you going to be thinking about where you're going to shoot him? No, you're going to fucking just want to take him down.
Yeah.
As fast and as quickly as fucking possible. Now, whether that's shooting him in the face, shooting him in the chest, or shooting him in the fucking kneecap like that guy in Germany did. It was just a lucky judgment call on that, in my opinion. I think if it was me, and I was a police officer, and there was somebody coming after me, it's me or him at that point. And you put me in power to do that kind of stuff, so that was my judgment call.
The kill or be killed, basically.
No, not kill or be killed. I'm talking the judgment call. Maybe this guy wasn't just coming after me. Maybe I was just in his way. Maybe he was going after somebody behind me. Maybe he was going to go on a murderous rampage. You got to take this guy down, regardless of whether you shoot him in the knee, shoot him in the chest, shoot him in the head, shoot him in the face, shoot him in the arm, whatever. Make that judgment call and fucking handle it. But at the same token, too, don't shun the fucking officer that lets the fucking criminal go and then kills somebody as a result. Oh, well, that officer should have done this. That officer should have done that. Well, you know what? That was a judgment call. Just like you're saying, well, there should be more rules enacted. There should be, better judgments made. Yeah, there always could be better judgments. Yeah, there always could be more rules. But the more rules you enact makes it harder for the police officers to do their job. Excuse me. I'm kind of drinking a little bit. It makes it harder for them to do their jobs. And telling somebody that they could have done a better job, dude, is like seriously killing their morale. There's not enough people in this world that trust the police officers and trust our military officials, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that they're all right and they're all good and all this shit. I'm not saying that at all, because that's not fucking true. But I am saying that if us as people are putting these people in serious fucking responsibility for people's lives, that they should be trusted more. Stop having these fucking debates about they should make better judgments. Stop making these debates about there should be more rules. No, the more rules you put, the harder it is for them to do their job. And then, you put these rules in action, and then somebody gets hurt as a result, and then you're like, well, how come that officer didn't do anything about it? Well, you fucking said that he couldn't. Legally, he couldn't.
Well, you make a valid point. I think everybody's main concern here is, there's good and bad in everybody, like I've said. And, for those who are in law enforcement, who abuse their power and take it as a license to kill, need to be held accountable. Like we said, we don't know the full you and I both don't know the full details as to why this issue took place.
I agree. But at the same token, you got to see both sides of the
Oh, I do see both sides of the coin, and that's what I'm trying to emphasize here. There are two sides to every story. And if this cop was in fact in the wrong and this kid didn't need to die, then justice needs to be dispensed and things need to be done to hold the officers accountable. It's not about limiting the authority of the police. It's like you said, these officers we are to entrust them with our lives. At which point the officers need to put the lives of the community as the highest priority.
And maybe this guy was.
Maybe he was.
In his particular judgment, which we allow these people to make judgment calls like that. Maybe he was. Maybe he was afraid that this kid, whether it was a threatening thing or whatever the fucking case may be, if this kid was causing bodily harm to people, then they had to take him down, and there was no way of doing it without being bodily harmed themselves or hurt or even possibly killed themselves. And the only option was to shoot him, take his fucking ass out. That's the bottom line.
That is one side of it, and that is entirely possible. And on the flip side, it could be, this cop, he was possibly corrupt and
thought he can get away with it.
Yeah, it was the equivalent of a fucking bully. I'm the big badass with all the fucking weapons, and you're just some punk kid, or
Now you also stated too, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you also stated before I forget again because I forgot. That's what I was sitting here thinking about right now.
Well, keep talking. I'm going to grab me a beer. You want one?
No, I still kind of have half of mine and some wine here. Check it out. You were saying yourself that if the cop was in fact corrupt, then he deserves to have a swift punishment done, and he deserves to be taken to justice for this. Well, on the same token, you stating that is like saying, well, if he's not corrupt, then you as a reporter need to retract your statements when he's found to be innocent.
Well, if he's, like I said, if he is corrupt, then by all rights he should be brought to justice.
Absolutely. But if he's not, then what?
I have to base it on innocent until proven guilty. That's how our system works. Innocent until proven guilty.
But you're not basing it on that. You're basing it on guilty till proven innocent.
I'm not. If I have insinuated that, I do apologize. But here's my standpoint: innocent until proven guilty. We've all been, in one form or another, on the negative aspects of the law. You and I have worked in security for years. Mm-hmm. We've made our fair share of apprehensions and had to deal with the police and whatnot. So we know what it's like to be on the receiving end of this shit, in a matter of speaking. So,
I got moved from my place guarding the Lennar homes because some jackass came into my place, knew where my motion detectors were, got around them, and stole a house full of dryers and washers and equipment. And I got in trouble for that, like it was my fucking fault or something.
Yeah, so like you dropped the ball.
I get that. No, yeah, I get that. And you know what? I did drop the ball. I should have hid my motion detectors better. I should have. And I admit that. That was a fault of my own. But at the same token, too, that was something that was at that exact moment out of my hands.
Yeah, well, look what happened to me at the other Lennar site in the same fucking town, 4th of July weekend. Porta potty fucking explodes. My motion detectors go off on the other side of the complex. I drive all the way down there. By the time I get there, boom! Shit fucking blows up. And I didn't get in trouble for it. I fucking reported on it. I freaking tried to catch the guys. I cut through the field. I couldn't get to them. Shit fucking happened. But,
I agree.
From the respect of law enforcement, you do the best you can. You maintain that level of humanity, because I'll admit, there's been times, when I try. when I was working as a security guard, I tried to be lenient in certain situations. Like, I've caught people fucking behind the complexes I've worked and shit. And I go, okay, guys, you might want to get up out of here.
I have a question.
I don't fucking write them up or fucking like
on this police issue. I have a question for you, Chris. Tinman, sorry.
Everybody knows my name. I started out. My name is Chris Sheldon. I lived in Hemet Center. Now I moved. I'm in Abbott's.
Anyway, my question to you. We've all heard the infamous Rodney King beating.
Yeah, who hasn't?
Okay, so what is your opinion on that? Were the police right or were they wrong?
I think they took
according to the video.
According to everything I've researched on the matter, he stepped on the line. He should have been arrested, apprehended. He shouldn't have had the living shit beat out of him. Your job is to arrest and bring people to justice. Your job isn't to dispense justice. That's for the courts and due process.
Okay,
you're not judge, jury, and execution.
I have another question for you as a result of your answer there. Theoretically, that's what happened when the cameras got turned on. What happened before the cameras got turned on?
I don't know the full details.
Nobody does. The officers know, and Rodney King knows. Now, for the officers to get so pissed off and to get so fucking irritated to want to beat this guy down like that,
yeah,
he had to have done something.
Maybe
An officer just doesn't come up to a fucking suspect and just start beating the shit out of him because he wants to. Now,
granted,
there has to be a reason.
There has to be provocation. But is it the officer's job to beat somebody within an inch of their life, or even...
Maybe the guy had a gun. Maybe the guy had a gun. At least he didn't die.
Maybe so, but isn't it the police's job to arrest and start the issue of due process rather than just be judge, jury, and execution?
I don't know, dude. I like that movie Dread, so...
You and I share very different points of view. I see, there are good and bad cops out there, for the good cops that are doing their job. Thank you. And, there are a lot of cops out there who are good and are exposing the corrupt police out there. And again, I thank them. And as far as those who aren't, they need to be held accountable, because what I see in that respect is fucking bullies, fucking people who are fucking high on power with too many fucking toys to play with, victimizing innocents. And that brings us to our next story, Israel versus Palestine. You have the country of Israel, who is more or less bombarding the country of Palestine in an all-out invasion. And Palestine has next to no weapons. They have very limited amounts of weapons. They have no standing army. And here you got Israel, who's this enormous badass, for all intents and purposes, committing a Holocaust. What's kind of your views and opinions on this? Because what I got here, you got the Israel versus Palestine, and on the flip side, you've got the Jews versus Zionists. Zionists rule Israel, not the Jews. And, there's a whole fucking mess that we're going to get into on this issue. But, just for the base, what is your take on this? You've seen the videos just as I have.
All right, first and foremost, Israel versus Palestine. That's not a war, okay? For an armed country to invade an unarmed country is not a war. It's a rape. It's a genocide nightmare. It's
oh my god!
Murder. It's just
you and I are on the same fucking page on something. Oh my fucking god!
It's murder. That's just common sense.
Here, have a beer. You've earned it. My god, he and I are on the same fucking page. Fuck, I agree. It is rape. It's genocide. It's murder, and it's an all-out Holocaust for all intents and purposes. And that's what really fucking bugs me about this. They're fucking doing this to Palestine. What happened to the Jews in World War II? They got fucking bullied and bombarded just like Israel's doing to Palestine now. Just because they were victimized in World War II, now it's suddenly okay for them to victimize somebody else because it's fucking turned out it's fair play or some shit?
Well, let me quote from a movie
What you got?
I don't remember exactly what movie it's from, okay? But I remember this quote, and it's because it's so true. People are fucking crazy. Insane down to the core. They're just crazy. They're neurotic, they're chaotic, they're scared, they're just crazy, unpredictable. The person, an individual, is a very smart, very gathered, very intelligent, very organized.
Are you talking about Men in Black?
I don't.
The individual is smart,
but
but
yeah,
people,
when he was like, how come?
But people in general are crazy, dangerous animals, and you know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Men in Black 1, yes.
Okay, well...
God damn, I'm not even a big movie mark. You can't even get me to fucking hardly sit down and watch a movie with you, and yet I knew that one. Fuck!
Well, it's right up your alley. That type of movie is right up your alley anyway, so I'm sure you've seen it.
We are not backtracking to gods versus gods and aliens and all that shit.
No, but anyway...
Gods and aliens and politics, oh my!
Anyway, you know, so as far as the World War II thing was concerned... people as a whole were fucking retarded. The person running the fucking shows were very intelligent people. Very gathered and organized people. But as a whole, they were fucking crazy, chaotic people. I'm not just talking about Germans. I'm talking about the United States as well. I mean, we did a lot of crazy things to the Germans that they themselves did to the Jews.
Well, look at what we did to the Japanese during World War II. We did the same thing.
Put them in concentration camps.
That Germany did to the Jews.
Exactly. Put them in concentration camps.
You know, we're just as fucked up as anybody else, and you know.
Look at the enslavement of the African American culture. Look at Indians. Indians lived here before me. Indians lived here before the white man. We came over and we took over, which is why we give them a little portion of our land. And they can do whatever the hell they want. They casinos, they don't owe taxes, all that shit. Yeah, the
Native Americans, they ain't got no room to bitch. They got oppressed more than the African American community in a lot of respects. You know, and I'm not picking sides on anything. I don't know that this is going to piss off some of the African Americans. I know I'm going to get shit for this. But if you think about it, you know, granted, what happened to the African American community was terrible. It was fucking terrible. But the Native Americans, they got fucking owned. They got invaded. They got raped, murdered, wars constantly. I mean, it was fucking nuts for them. I mean, I guess, you know, death would have probably been a better aspect versus slavery. You know, so I guess it's whichever you decide is the lesser of two evils on that one, but what I'm more or less trying to get, you know, nowadays, the Native Americans, they really don't have much to bitch about. One of the first sites I worked when I was a security guard working for CPS, I met one of the first homeowners there. I'm not going to say her name, but she was a member of one of the local tribes. That woman got $30,000 a month just because she was a member of that tribe.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
What do you do with that much money?
I don't know. Fucking $30,000 a month? You're fucking sitting pretty. They got the casinos non-tax.
Well, that's why she was getting
$30,000.
It was because of the casino. The casino pays their people.
Yeah.
Now the government our government pays the Native Americans as well. We pay them $3,000 a month, roughly. I mean, each person is different. But there was a lady that worked with my mom at Supercuts who was dating a Native American, and he got paid $3,000 or $4,000 a month, something like that. And he didn't have to work a day in his life. He was big.
$3,000 a month. You know, that's still sitting fucking pretty.
Yeah, no, for sure. But what I'm saying is that was the reason she
we didn't even make that much a month.
Well, that's what I was saying. The reason why she got paid probably $30,000 was because of the casinos.
Yeah, well, still, you know, back to the issue with Israel and Palestine, you know, we kind of got off point, you know. Granted, what we just discussed, you know, still pretty fucked up shit, you know. It's nice to see the Indians getting their fucking shit, you know, doing good for themselves. But back to Israel and Palestine. Not only is it a bombardment by Israel and it's just plain fucked up, but you got to get into the Jews versus the Zionism thing. The Zionists own and run Israel, not the Jews. In fact, the Jewish community is strongly...
They do now. They do now.
Yeah, they actually have been in control of Israel ever since it was given to them fucking years ago. But the Jews are strongly opposed to not only Zionism, but also the possession of Israel and their name being used as a pretext for this Holocaust. And this is something that really pisses me off, because there are so many videos out there of high-ranking Jewish officials of the Jewish church denouncing the war in Israel and denouncing Zionism. The Jews are strongly opposed to Zionism because the Jews are trying to convince the world, or not the Jews, but the Zionists are trying to convince the world that Judaism and Zionism are one and the same thing, and they are not. I'm friends with a Jewish rabbi. I will not say their name, but I am good friends with a Jewish rabbi. I worked for their synagogue.
Excuse me one second.
For a while there.
We gotta close that fucking thing, dude.
Sorry.
Baking.
Where were we?
You were saying about the Zionists and how you know a rabbi. You're not going to mention their names.
Yeah. No, I worked for a Jewish synagogue, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about here. The Jews are strongly opposed to Zionism. They are not Zionists. They are strongly opposed to Zionism. And they are strongly opposed to Israel because, as per the Torah and the prophecy of Solomon, when the temple was destroyed 2,000 years ago, the Jews were forever banned from possessing their own country. That is per God's law. That is per God's commandments.
Right.
As per the Torah. They fucked up. You gotta look at it in terms of a landlord and his tenants. God let the Jews reside in Israel. It wasn't the Jews' property. Israel was not theirs. It belonged to God. Otherwise, why would God have led them into bondage every time Israel fucked up? Every time the Jews fucked up?
Well, you seem to know more about the Jews and Zionist thing than I do, so I'm going to let you take it, dude, because I haven't done much research on this.
Well, I have done a great deal of research, and you know that I've spent years studying religions, especially the Old Testament. I love the Old Testament. It's just so fucked up. It is fucking evil in many respects. And, it really shows human nature, and is what I mean in being fucked up. It just shows human nature. And as per the Torah and the prophecy of Solomon, when the temple was destroyed 2,000 years ago, whether you believe in Jesus Christ and the New Testament story or not, the temple was in fact destroyed. And as per the prophecy of Solomon and the Torah, the Jews were forever forbade from possessing Israel. Even if a country was given to them, they were supposed to be scattered abroad the earth. And this is what pisses me off. You get a lot of hardcore Christians that are so stuck in their fucking ways, and they think just because Israel, the Jews possessed Israel in the old times, that they are rightfully entitled to it. And, when you bring something else to the table, even respect that the Jews themselves are saying, high-ranking Jewish officials are coming on and saying the Jews are not allowed to have Israel. I share that with a few people. I'm not going to say who, but I shared that with them, as well as the song A for Allah, because, like I said, I'm not going to say who it was. In fact, it was a few people that I shared this with, but one person in particular actually had the nerve to say I was anti-Semitic. It's like, okay, I just shared you a video of the Jews, high-ranking Jewish officials, saying that they are not allowed to possess Israel, and yet I am anti-Semitic? Okay, I know just as much about...
They said that themselves. How are you anti-Semitic sharing that?
Exactly. There were two separate videos. One was at a protest, and one was in a fucking news conference. High-ranking Jewish officials stating that they were not allowed to possess Israel. And yet, one of the people in fact, the person who said I was anti-Semitic is quite fond of posting anti-Islamic and anti-Muslim shit on their wall. They're uber Christian. I'm not going to say who they are because I'm not going to fucking put them on blast.
Well,
they know who they are, and I'm probably going to catch a lot of shit from them.
Anti-Semitism, dude, it has nothing to do with Islamic anything. Dude.
Yeah,
it has to do with Jewish culture, or the Jewish religion. Being anti-Semitic has to be, being offensive to Jewish.
Yeah. Well, how is that in any way being offensive? I shared 3 videos: the protest video, the news video, and the song "A for Allah," which, for those of you who don't know, emphasizes that the Torah relates back to Christianity in that Allah means prophet, and it even talks about, from Adam on up to Christ. A lot of Christians will sit there and bash on the Muslim faith because it's not, quote, Christianity, but if you actually sit down and read it, it's not all that different. They say, oh, it's uber violent and all this other shit. Well, look at the fucking Bible. War, murder, incest, rape, every kind of horrible monstrosity is fucking depicted in the Bible. What is it? It's human fucking nature. On a broad spectrum, talking about what it is to be human, which is no different than the Torah. Not the fucking Torah, the fucking Quran. Quran. I have read the fucking Quran. It is not that different from the Bible.
Is it pronounced Quran or Quran?
I've
heard it Quran.
Depending on what dialect you use. But it's not that different. And it's the same argument from the same kind of people that say that the Book of Mormon was the most evil book ever produced.
No.
Yet they don't fucking talk about the Necronomicon,
the Devil's Bible.
The Devil's Bible, which we watched that documentary the other day.
Yeah.
And the Satanic Bible, which I actually used to own a PDF of that. That was actually an interesting read.
It was pretty chaotic, though, wasn't it? I mean, like...
It was.
It was all over the place.
I mean, you remember back in the day when we were both working security at the same time, I let you borrow my English translation of the Necronomicon.
Yeah.
I've been involved in shit since, 15 years now? Ever since I met you, when we first started going to the dwelling place. What did I start doing? I started researching religions, every aspect. Cultures, magic. Everything on a spiritual level, I fucking researched and dabbled in. I know my shit. You want to talk about, I'm a fucking Bible scholar, this or that. Fuck you. You want to know? You want to fucking be fluent in the Bible? You want to know the Bible? Read it! Read the fucking Bible! You don't need to go to a fucking Bible college to fucking learn about the Bible. You want to learn about the Bible? Read the goddamn Bible!
Read it.
Just read it. Go straight to the source. But it's funny how all these religious people who are so dogmatic and stuck in their fucking ways, they can't think outside the box and don't even know the fucking box exists, even though it's sitting on their fucking head. They think they got
people like that. People like that, tinman, they go through life like this, dude.
They do.
They only see what's in front of them.
Like I said,
they don't see all of their perspective.
Yeah, and yet, they post anti-Islamic shit, and yet I post something that is that has the Jews denouncing the affiliation with Israel, and yet I'm anti-Semitic? Can you explain that to me, please? I know this person's probably going to fucking see this. Please explain that to me, because I am fucking confused. How am I in any way anti-Semitic? I posted 3 videos. Jews denouncing the affiliation. Jews, not just low-level Jews, but high-ranking officials, high-ranking rabbis, denouncing the affiliation with Israel and Zionism. Yeah, I'm anti-Semitic. And these people are pro-Israel because the Jews possessed Israel in the Old Testament. No, they fucking didn't. They were more or less renters to God's land. God led them out of Egypt to the Promised Land, the land of milk and honey and all that shit in the Exodus. And then after 40 years, until they fucking cleaned up their act, then God let them move into Israel. And then every time they fucked up,
God took it from them.
God took it from them. Why? Because it wasn't theirs to possess. It was God letting them fucking stay there. It's like, here, I'm giving you fucking room and board. And all you have to do for rent is follow my laws. And, live by my rules. This is my house, this is my rules.
Which is why Jews nowadays are so devout.
Exactly.
Because they see their past history with God and how God takes them.
Yeah, and if you want to look at it from a Christian standpoint, not a Jewish standpoint, but a Christian standpoint, the Jews were fucking up repeatedly throughout the Old Testament to the point where Israel was split in two, Judah and Israel. And then, everything else transpired after...
Which is kind of what it constitutes as Zionism and Judaism now.
Kind of.
That's like where it started.
Judah, for the most part, tried to live righteously. There was a few times where the kings of Judah would do that which wasn't right inside the Lord as per the Bible, and he would lead them into bondage or this or that. But Israel, for the most part, after the split, after King Solomon, was split into two, and Israel, for the most part, was just a fucked up place. They were worshiping idols and doing all the shit that they were doing. That's what landed them in trouble more often than not. You think they would have learned, but that's an entirely other topic.
It's because it's kind of like a kid, Mm-hmm. Is there another chicken out there? If
a fucking chicken comes running here, I'm gonna shit my pants.
I just heard one.
I think it's the chickens back there. I think it's our neighbor's chickens. But
well, I hear my dog barking.
Well, hopefully it's outside the fence. If a fucking chicken runs in here, we caught it on camera. It's gonna be funny. Yeah, you didn't catch this on camera. Fucking lucid here comes running out. What the hell's going on? There's a fucking chicken!
There was an actual chicken in my garage. My dog actually ended up chasing it away and getting it, unfortunately.
Yeah, we won't get into that. We could discuss that another time. But back to the Israel-Palestine thing. The Jews didn't possess Israel. They were more or less renting it. And when they fucked up to the point where the temple was split in two, and I can't remember whether it was the cloth or the what was it? Where they did the sacrifices.
Altar.
The altar, yes, thank you. I'm not sure whether it was the cloth or the altar that got split in two, and that's what...
It was the altar.
Yeah, the altar, as per the prophecy of Solomon, once the altar was split in two, Israel would forever be forbade from, or Jews would be forever forbade from owning their own country.
At least I believe it was.
They would be scattered amongst the nations of the world and forever prohibited from owning their own country, even if one was given to them. But yet Christians ignore that and just go, oh, well, Jews possessed it in the Old Testament, so it's theirs. Seriously. Read your fucking Bible!
Or just read up on history. I mean, don't be fucking lazy.
Well, what it comes down to is people are so stuck in their fucking ways, they refuse to see the possibility that they could be wrong.
They watch movies like Ben-Hur and think they know anything about the Bible. It's like...
Well, the person in which I reference is very well educated. They know their shit, so I'm not going to knock them on that. They are very smart. And this person and I have had many great debates in the past.
No, I'm saying people in general. I'm not talking about her or him or whoever you're talking about. I'm just saying people in general. They fucking watch movies like Ben-Hur and shit like that.
Well, even those who are very well learned in the Bible and whatnot, they oftentimes get stuck in this fucking box, in this way of thinking that it's the end all be all. And that was kind of the point of our little saga with the God's
I got white socks on
and government and all that shit. But they don't think outside the box. You know, what if I'm wrong? What if what I believe is just nothing more than watered down bullshit?
Which 99% of the time it is.
Yeah. I mean, you got 42,000 Christian religions based off, majority of which based off the Catholicism system, which predates Christianity, or fucking, is it predates? No, because that would be before Christianity, right? Came 300 years after Christianity.
That's post-date.
Yeah, post-date, thank you. You know, they know everything, but yet what they know oftentimes is bullshit. It's like what they teach you in fucking school. They only teach you the basic shit. Oftentimes they don't teach you how to live in the real fucking world. They teach you add, subtract, multiply, and divide. They don't teach you how to fucking live in the real world and put up with the shit you gotta put up with.
No, because they give you the basic knowledge of shit and expect you to put it to use.
Yeah, and that's all you have is a base level of what used to be. And it's really sad that people refuse to think outside the box and then refuse to think that just because it is, quote, written, that all of a sudden they have all the fucking answers. Well, you know what? What prompted me to fucking start researching religion and all this other shit in the first place? Because it didn't have all the answers. We went to the dwelling place, and I heard so much dogmatic bullshit it made my head hurt. And there were so many unanswered questions, and either the pastors couldn't answer or had such ridiculous responses that you just had to piss yourself laughing.
Well, I can say more than one thing about the dwelling place, but I'll say this only. As a result of me going to the dwelling place, it made me a more devout Christian because I saw the hypocrisy in that church. I don't like to call out the church like that because
It's just
some of my friends go to that church. You know what I mean? People I know from high school used to go to that church. Good friends of mine who really believe in what these people are saying, and you know it's really sad. But on the other hand, too, it's made me a more devout Christian and more honest and not as hypocritical as most of these watered-down Christian religions are concerned. And another reason for that, too, is because now I am self-proclaimed Baptist, and they do a lot of reading out of the Bible, which is what I really like. You're saying you want to learn about the Bible, you want to learn about God's race and history in that time, read the Bible. Fucking read it. You want to learn about
you want to know what's beyond the Bible? Fucking bombard the Vatican. You know, Anonymous is talking about, you know, bombarding the police department and all the other shit in regards to Wagner. Fucking do the same with the fucking Vatican. Demand all those restricted texts be released and translated so that we can know what they say. So we can have a fucking full scope.
But have a historian.
Yeah.
Have a renowned historian.
An unbiased, renowned historian. That would be a good
translate
idea.
it, because if you're still going to have the Catholic faith translated, because they read Latin and they have to learn Latin as a result of their religion. But if you have one of them do it, then you never know. It could be watered down. They could be keeping things out that are actually in there that don't get translated.
Yeah, well, I mean,
so if you have like an unbiased, like you said, an unbiased, you know, historian, somebody who even maybe an atheist translate the shit. You know what I mean?
Well,
have them do it so that it's.
Well,
not
I mean, there are
watered
so
down
many
and shit like that.
unanswered questions, even just in relation to God. You know, like Jesus Christ, for example. He is the Son of God. Well, God is his Father. Who's his mother? You know,
Mary.
Mary was his earthly mother, but, you know, he obviously came into existence beforehand because it was prophesied all the way back to Adam when the angel came down and said, hey, do you know why you're sacrificing? No. Well, you're sacrificing in retrospect to the sacrifice that Jesus Christ will make. That's Genesis, Old Testament shit right there.
Yeah, but mother and father is only the earthly. I mean, because if God really wanted to, he could just be like, okay, there you are, Jesus, you're right there. There you are. Do your thing.
Yeah, but then
he could have done that.
Yeah.
But the reason why he had Jesus be born was because of the way that we are born. We are born unto sin because we sin. It's kind of a vicious cycle.
Yeah,
we sin because we're having sex and we're pleasuring ourselves in a selfish way, and then
This is the way we jerk the cock, jerk the cock, jerk the cock. This is the way we jerk the cock in Pakistan. Okay. Let's just reach a bit now.
Now, we're born unto sin because we sin when we conceive. Then we're born into the world unknowingly, which the world is full of sin. So Jesus had to be born unto the world, not just as a being that appeared, but as a being that went through what we went through, so he could suffer as we suffered. That's why he has Mary as his mother. That's why God is his father. He doesn't have to have an official spiritual mother, because God is father, God is mother, God is all.
God's a hermaphrodite?
No, I'm not talking.
I could get so fucked up with this.
Yeah,
dude.
this is what I'm talking about.
I do get what you're saying, dog. And let's cut this before we go and get into another fucking gods and aliens and government don't lie bullshit. Because I know a lot of people didn't like that, so let's just stray away from that. But the point being, there was a lot on it.
I thought that was a good video.
It was good, but I think it just drug on too long, and with the YouTube issue, we couldn't do more than 10 minutes at a time. I think if it had been one video, it would have been fine, but fuck you, YouTube. But, back to...
Yeah, we're loading this video on YouTube after we're done with it. So.
Yeah, all in one file.
I'm thinking I want to find, like, another video thing.
I want it.
Like Hulu, dude. We should open a Hulu account or something. Dude.
Well, we're going to be expanding a lot more.
Well, I'm just saying, if you have so many issues with YouTube, we should...
But let's get into that next. We spent a lot of time on this Israel thing, and what it comes down to is face facts, everybody. Israel is in the wrong. Israel is in the wrong. The Jews are not permitted to own Israel or any country as per the Torah and the prophecy of Solomon.
According to the
text. Deal with it.
According to the text.
Yeah.
We were not there. Okay, we do not know exactly what was said. Well, we were not present at that time. So according to the text, that would make Israel wrong. But at the same time...
Yeah, well, even so, even if
right or wrong,
what Israel is doing...
morally speaking, in a humanly thing... Going into a country that is unarmed, it's not war, man. That's rape. That's genocide. That's torture. That's Holocaust all over again, dude. That's World War II all over again, man.
Exactly.
I mean, think about it. If you came into let's say
you came into my house with a fucking gang of people and just started fucking up my shit, that'd be considered a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing. And if they fire back, trying to defend themselves, you got, if you fucking came into my house, god damn it, I'm gonna fight you tooth and fucking nail. So does that make me a fucking terrorist for fighting back?
Yes.
Apparently so. Apparently YRB was right, I'm a terrorist. RTV, resistance tactical bomb, flip bomb. God, thank you, Mr. Giggles. You fucking made my day on that.
I know, right? Oh, I let Mr. Giggles wear my tie, by the way. If you're wondering why this tie looks familiar, I let Mr. Giggles wear my tie.
Mr. Giggles is fucking awesome.
He didn't have a tie and he wanted to dress up, so I let him wear my
Well, he didn't have his clothes because they were still in Tom and Sarah's shit.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so but he did spruce up nicely. I give him credit for that.
He needs to brush his hair. That motherfucker needs to
maybe we could bring him up to TWR.
Right. Right.
Mr. Giggles is fucking awesome.
We'll bring him into the Weekly Report one of these days. And
maybe, yeah.
Have him share his views and opinions on shit.
Yeah.
I'll lend him my suit again. Fuck it.
There you go.
Fuck it, Mr. Bucky.
You're stealing my shit!
Please, that wasn't yours. You got that from somewhere.
Actually, no. That was my own original shit.
Like suck my dick backwards and buy me a milkshake.
That was mine. That was fucking
yours.
mine.
I was there when that came out of your mouth the first time.
That was beautiful.
And I'm not talking about the
I fucking told YRV that shit.
Did you
Fucking
hear
suck
me?
my dick and buy me a milkshake.
Did you hear me?
Huh.
I said I was there when that came out of your mouth the first time, and I'm not talking about the dick.
Wow, now he's left me speechless. There you go.
Don't touch my leg again. Or my nipple. I guess that was the next place to be hit. So
Where else can you go but up? But speaking of going up,
you can always dig your
Ours-
feet deeper like YRV.
true that. But we are almost out of time. I think we probably exceeded our limit, but who cares? You know? And as far as what to expect from us, we will be doing this report
And it
every
won't
week.
always be, it won't always be an hour long. It may be shorter. It may be longer.
Yeah.
Who knows? It just depends on how.
And we're going to turn this into a radio show and put we're thinking about, this is just an initial test run right now, seeing how well we work together. If you have any pointers on how we can improve it,
Shut up. Because we're going to do it our way anyway.
fucking tell us how we can improve. I'm like Lucid here. I'm always open to suggestions.
I'm going to do it.
Don't get pissed off and unsubscribe. Just fucking tell us.
See, that's why you
what
hired
we're
me,
doing.
though.
Yeah.
Because I do shit my way anyway.
Yeah, 'cause you're a fucking dick.
Well, whose idea was it to put these chairs and hang this? I mean, that's a good idea, right?
No argument there.
Maybe next week we'll have the anonymous flag hanging here. Maybe the week after
Well,
that.
it's not like it's not sitting right above it.
No,
but,
but I mean, you can't see it in the shot. What I'm saying is, like, behind us, we have the American flag here right now, but this is just because of our initial
Right.
broadcast and because of what we're doing for the music video too. So,
Yeah.
which, by the way, he's a great videographer. So,
Yeah, anybody needs any fucking video editing, several announcers have hit me up and shit for video projects, intros, all kinds of shit. Fucking hit me up. But as far as this show is concerned, we're gonna carry on with this for a little while. We'll do a weekly video vlog, probably about this long, maybe a little shorter. Any suggestions to improve, or
stick them in my suggestion box and flush them.
yeah, just let us know what you think, where we can improve. And, we'll make this more news-oriented. I know this kind of turned into a little bit of a debate thing, but we'll try to make this more
Of a factual-based thing.
more
not
factual
opinion.
news. This kind of turned into a radio debate, and then eventually this will turn into a radio show. And we will be posting little tidbit videos from the radio show onto the Worldwide Resistance Network's
Yeah, the
YouTube
whole
channel.
thing is not going to be on the Worldwide Resistance Network.
In fact, if you want to watch the whole stream on video, you will have to subscribe and pay for it. If this is something you like, it's not something that's going to happen right down the line. The next episode isn't going to be fucking you have to fucking subscribe and pay for it. This is kind of a test run, get things established,
In fact, what we could
improve
do...
the product, and then once the product is fine-tuned, then we'll start integrating it into radio, and then if they want to see the video stream, then they can subscribe and pay for it, which will help fund operations, help us expand the product, make it better for you guys, and also fund operations. I can't shut up. I never shut up. I'm always talking. I'm as bad as...
Except for when that dick was in your mouth.
Hey, that was my dick and YRV's mouth, goddammit.
Oh, yeah. No, but what I was going to say...
Are you talking about the other night? Oh, wait a minute. Never mind.
Whoa. Where the hell did that come from?
I was a Skype conversation and we were drunk. Oh, girl, I'm not going to say her name. Take your hand off your cock! Anyway, that's all the time we have for today. So in closing, we're going to turn it over to Mr. Giggles for the final thought of the day.
I like cream cheese! The fuck you laughing at? This ain't no Comedy Central, motherfucker!